G'day guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Wildcard. Ireland versus the Wallabies. 7 o'clock in the morning. I stayed up all night. I was watching rugby all night. So I was going to go to bed thinking that this was going to be a blowout. And then, just before I was about to go, I saw this. Johnny Sexton ruled out of the clash 20 minutes before kickoff. So he did have a bit of a leg injury following the Springbok game. He had like a dead leg. I'm guessing like refers to like tight leg or something. And basically, I'm assuming it's flared up again and he's not feeling 100%. And, you know, Ireland has taken the precautions to, you know, save him and not let him play. With that being said, I was really excited. I thought the Wallabies had a chance of winning this game. And, to be frank, Ireland is not really a top 5 team. Maybe even top 7 without Johnny Sexton. It is just what it is. Joey Carberry as well, not able to play due to a concussion. So Ireland was missing the top 2 10s. And the way that Ireland plays and the way that Ireland organizes themselves, it's all plays around the 10. They don't have like a second 5A sort of play style as many other nations do, like the Wallabies do. And nowadays the Springboks kind of do that as well. They don't have that. So everything the Ireland does is funneled through the 10. And as a result, with the reserve 10 on the field, Ireland did struggle. This was a guy that debuted last week. What was his name? That debuted last week. And yeah, Jack Crowley. And this was basically his first starting game. You can clearly see Ireland had no idea in terms of their attacking options. And there was a few times where Ireland tried to like strong arm their options by just going the blind side, just trying to cut out the decision making from the 10. You can see that by just going to the blind side with Gibson Parks just feeding the ball straight to Mac Hansen a couple times. And yeah, it was very clear that the Irish team didn't really have an idea what to do. And the ball at the breakdown was really slow as well as a result, because the team was not getting set up for a quick ball. So Gibson Parks gets to the breakdown and he's looking around and nothing is set up. So the Irish attack line was very, very slow this week. And quite frankly, I felt like the Wallabies really could have done better and let the Irish team off the hook a little bit. With that being said, I don't know what else to say. The amount of neck roll penalties we saw this game against the Wallabies, Ireland had a 1 or 2 as well, was just, once again, really, really poor. Like we spoke about last week, something is wrong with the Wallabies training camp. The stuff that they're teaching the players are just not correct. Like the neck rolls, a lot of these neck rolls is not like, really bad like neck rolls. It's clearly just the habit. Players going in for a clean out. The opposition wasn't moving, not effective at the clean out. They just like almost a habit to give the neck a little twist to get them out of the way. And they did this quite a lot, eventually resulting in Fainga Art getting a yellow card after getting a warning from the referee. And I don't know what the coaches are doing. I don't know who is teaching this, and it's really, really poor. With that being said, the Australians, I did feel like, just like the Irish, there was a lack of ideas in their attacking. No one was really taking on the gang lines this game. I'm not sure, because Hunter Paisami did get injured early in the game. Maybe that has something to do with it. That could have been a big loss to the Australian team. But again, Foley wasn't able to find any options in attack. He was just kind of running the ball dry by himself and trying to, pigeonhole somebody in the back line, and there was nothing really being set up as well for the Wallabies. So what happened in this game is both teams resulted in a lot of kicking, goal territory kicking, and these are like low pressure kind of long balls that just getting lobbed around the field a little bit. There was a few high ball contests that was quite good, but again, not really clinical enough to get an advantage for either team. And in terms of the 4-packs, I did feel like the scrum was a little bit better for the Wallabies. Even though it seems to be even, the lineouts are pretty scrappy for both teams. Both teams have lost quite a few balls in the lineouts. Not very clean. In terms of the rolling more, both teams were kind of poor. I thought the Irish were surprisingly bad in my opinion. Especially there was a period the Wallaby was down to 14 players. In fact, there was a 2 minutes of like almost 3 minutes where Wallaby was down to 13 players because they had to go to uncontested scrum due to the yellow card. So the Wallabies, despite having 13 players and 3 props on the field, the Irish team still couldn't get like a dominant rolling maul going, which I thought was also, I was a little bit surprised to see that as well. So overall, pretty scrappy game for both teams, and yeah, I think maybe, you know, maybe everybody's getting a bit tired towards the end of the season. Whatever the issue is, it's a pretty lackluster game, and I did feel like the Wallabies had the upper hand and really wasn't able to execute. A little bit disappointing in my part there. So overall, if we have a look at the stats, Wallabies had more run meters, 372 to Ireland's 290. So at halftime, the Wallabies were actually dominating the run meters despite not able to score any points in the first half. 228 run meters to Irish 92. Yeah. The turnovers conceded for the Wallabies at halftime was a lot better as well. 2 turnovers conceded against Irish 4. So at full time, as you can see here, the Ireland conceded 14 turnovers and only 5 turnovers conceded to the Wallabies. This is actually outrageously high for the Irish team. So how the Wallabies not able to capitalize on this, your guess is as good as mine. So yeah, and as you can see the tackle count as well. Ireland 203 tackles, 27 missed tackles. The Irish defense, to be fair, was quite good. 27 missed tackles out of 200. It's still, like, in terms of percentage, it's still pretty low, but still, you never really want the game to be, you know, around that 20, getting closer to 30 missed tackle mark in any stretch of imagination. But still, the Irish team had to make a lot of tackles. It's kind of like okay in terms of percentage. The Wallabies are much better in terms of the completion rate for tackles. 122 tackles, 14 missed tackles. It's pretty good, pretty decent for the Wallabies. What do you mean, percentage wise? So kicks in play, as you can see here, 26-28. This is very on the high side for both teams. You know, getting to that 30 mark is almost like, it's almost like it's very much on the high end. And yeah, there was a lot of kicking because neither teams were creative enough to break through the game line to really make something happen. I'm surprised there was not any like more strategic kind of kicks instead of just like kicking long balls or trying to juggle for territory. I was surprised like Foley didn't do a bit more of like, you know, grubber kicks behind when things get a bit stale. He did. I think there's like one or two high ball over the top into the 22, but yeah, really kind of stale, especially when there were times where the Wallabies built, like in the first half especially, that's why the run meters are so high. They built like 20 something phases and were not able to get anywhere, and it still didn't do anything, just continued the attack pattern, eventually got turned over. Yeah, it was a bit brutal at times to watch. Lineouts, 18 lineouts for Ireland, 2 lineouts lost. Wallabies as well not clean themselves, 15 lineouts, 3 lineouts lost, something that both teams need to kind of work on. Scrums, 0 scrums lost for both teams, but it did look like to me the Wallabies had a little bit of advantage in my opinion, especially when Tupou was on the field. It did look like the Wallabies had a dominant scrum. Tupou was off the field quite quickly due to a leg injury as well, but yeah, no scrums were lost for either teams. Penalty count, 12 penalties as piece. The Wallabies had a yellow card to Fainga for doing a neck roll after both teams had a warning for neck rolls. There was a head clash, and absorbing tackle came into play. Valentini had a straight up head clash, no dipping whatsoever. Could have been a yellow card for the most part. If there was a Barnsley, this could have been a yellow card. But Ben O'Kee basically said this was no danger. He didn't even want to look at it. But the TMO kind of like forced his hand. And he just said it's a penalty. And yeah, probably should have been a yellow card, to be honest. He didn't really poor tackling technique. Bit of bear hug and head collusion. Should probably be a yellow card. Even though it's an absorbing tackle. So not going to be a red card by today's... I don't know what the standard is anymore, to be honest. Guys, you tell me. I thought that was a yellow card. Could have been a red card if Carl Dixon was on the field and could have been I mean, from Ben O'Keefe's point of view, it's not even a card at all. So it's just stark contrast to how the games are refereed within like 4 hours, right? Like we literally watched it again with Carl Dickinson given a red card for something like this, and then for something less than this, in fact, and then we have this incident, and it was not even a penalty. It's not even a card, right? So yeah, it was really kind of bizarre, kind of a stale game as well. So let's just go through the summary and talk about some of the key areas of the game. So yeah, right away I was like, before the kickoff even happened, I was already getting a little bit pissed. Nick White was like faking the kickoff during the countdown, so everybody's counting down. Nick White was like trying to fake a kickoff, and Ben O'Keefe was like, no, stop, just wait. You gotta wait for the countdown. And then Nick White just like laughing, and I was like, is that even necessary, man? Like the game hasn't even started, and he's already acting like a bit of a toxic, a bit toxic already. So yeah, I didn't really like that at all. So 2 minutes into the game, the Wallabies were in the front were in the front foot. They had a basically, I think they had a scrum penalty. Oh no, there was a collapse scrum for a short arm. They just take a quick tap, and Hunter Besami gets tackled. It looked like he got landed on the side of his leg. Ty Furlong landed on the side of his leg. Looked like he got hurt real bad. Hopefully it's going to be okay. And again, the Wallabies really looked like they ran a couple phases and just looked like they're out of ideas already. And there was a high ball from outside the 22 into the 22. Like nobody was there to chase. It just like randomly kicked it away. Yeah, I was not happy when I saw this random kick into the 22 from outside the 22 for no reason. So the Wallabies did have an offside advantage. They take a quick tap, not going for the 3 points, which could have been like useful. Looking back now, they basically crashed the ball a few times. Nick White was in center field. He gets a short ball from his teammates, and then I think it was Nick White that crashed through. He crashes through, try time, everybody's cheering, and I was like, oh my god, the Wallabies are gonna blow away the Irish team, because the Wallabies will actually look really good, really fast breakdown speed, and a lot of urgency. TMO review, there was a neck roll in the clean-out leading into this, and no try. And I literally wrote here, why am I not surprised? This is the first time in the game, right? I was like, I'm not surprised. And in fact, at this point, I was thinking to myself, probably going to see a lot more of this, like we did last week. And sure enough, this was only the first of many neck rolls that happened this game. There was a penalty 9 minutes into the game against the Wallabies. And Ireland said, okay, we're going to take 3 points. We're happy to tick the scoreboard first. So there was a Crowley. This is like the first kick for Crowley or something. He pops it through. Ireland ahead 3 points to nil. Straight from the kickoff, another high around the neck. So who was it? Yeah, but anyway, another high around the neck. So yeah, it's for the Wallabies. So Ireland gets another penalty. They didn't kick this one. They tried to run the ball. They were not able to. They had a 5-minute line out, but they were not able to score from this one. The Wallabies managed to defend. At this point, you're starting to notice that the Irish are much slower at the breakdown, and they're kind of really like indecisive. What's going on? Because typically with a 5-meter line out, Ireland are really crisp. They know exactly what they want to do for pretty much a few phases. And this, you can noticeably see that Gibson Parks is on the field, and he's like trying to figure out where to go. Like looking around, trying to, and it was just noticeably slower. And as a result, they were not able to score, and the Wallabies was able to defend. 90 minutes into the game, Wallabies gets caught off. Ireland gets caught offside. It was from a bit of an accidental offside as well. Like their own players kind of knocked the ball onto each other, sort of thing. And the Wallabies had an opportunity to kick for 3. Foley misses this one. He literally skewed it. I was like pretty badly. I was like, oh, that was pretty interesting, because Foley is pretty good kicking this year. And that was, again, another crucial point of the game where they could have made a bit of a difference. So on the 23rd minute, Wallabies had an opportunity to score out wide. Nwanga Nitawasi had the ball. and I think he had one more person out wide open. He was trying to offload, and then Gary Winrow goes in for the tackle and knocks the ball out of his hand. It could have potentially been a deliberate knock on, but at least should have been a scrum. But the referee didn't see it. They just called it a line out as he recovers the ball as it got taken out. But yeah, it was kind of a weird situation where this could have been a penalty for a lot of referees because he kind of knocked the ball out of his hand in the tackle. After this, the Wallabies were able to build a lot of phases, 21 phases just inside their Irish 22, and not able to go forward at all. Eventually, there was a penalty against the Wallabies for a neck roll. 21 phases wasted, not able to score any points. So after this, I think there was a few more issues with. I think there was another neck roll from Ireland, and then the referee basically says any more neck rolls from either teams, it's going to be a yellow card. So he has to chat with the captain after this, around 28th minutes of the game. So the Irish defense is really noticeably, really, really good. The line speed is quite good and really has a really good, structure as well. So the Wallabies are really not able to build towards anything up against the Irish defense. Once again, the Wallabies were building phases inside the Irish side. There was a penalty advantage. There was a nice crossfield kick to Nwangani Tawasi, who recovers it. And then they just, it's almost like they wanted to use the penalty advantage for Nwangani Tawasi, but he gets the ball back and the Wallabies just kept on, carried on playing. And eventually, this was, inside the Irish 22, right? And this penalty was just outside the 22. So this could have been easily a three-pointer. And instead of, stop the play or, tell the referee you want to take the penalty, they just kept on playing. And eventually, they ran out of the advantage. The referee just says advantage over. And this was really stupid. So Wallabies didn't really get an advantage. And then they did get another penalty. The Wallabies go for a line out, 10-meter line out. But yeah, this was stupid. This could have been a penalty. This could have been a three-pointer way sooner. But anyway, later on, this line out that Wallabies tried to do gets stolen, which is a little bit disappointing. 36 minutes in, another neck roll. Faenga clean out. I saw it live as well, and I was like, oh, the referee missed it. Lucky that. And then the TMO picks it up, tells the referee to review it, and yellow card against Faenga. At this point, I kind of noticed it as well. The Parecki was taken off of HIA early in the game, and he wasn't able to return. So if there's a scrum being called, Wallaby will have to be dropped down to 13 players for going to uncontested scrum, which is what happened later in the second half. But yeah, this was really bad. Ireland, if they were smart, they should have seen this and just gone for a scrum with any sort of opportunity, would immediately get Wallabies down to 13 players. But Ireland, maybe they're not paying attention. Maybe they're just honourable players. Didn't really do this. They had penalties and they went for the lineouts instead. So they essentially get they did get a penalty around 37th minute. They finally started building some faces with the Wallaby, with a play off the field for the Wallabies. They get another penalty. They kick the penalty out for another 5-meter line out. I thought they should have just gone for a scrum. If they called for a scrum here, the Wallabies would have to play 7 minutes with 13 players instead of 14. And having 3 pops on the field as well would be horrendous, right? But the Irish team wasn't paying attention to this little detail, obviously. They go for a 5-meter line out. They go for it more. They were short. They kind of try to pull the ball through into the corner, and it was short. And then Gibson Parks tried to pick the ball out. He steps on the sideline as he's picking the ball out from the ruck. A rookie mistake there from Gibson Parks. And halftime, 3 points to 0 to Ireland. Not really exciting half at all. So 3 minutes in the second half, finally this is a scrum, and the Wallabies were forced to go down to 13 players because going into uncontested scrum means that the team will have to lose 1 additional player. So Wallabies were down to 13 players. Ireland should have done this even sooner. So the Ireland still had about 2.5 minutes left on the yellow card. So Wallabies had to play 13 players for about 2.5 minutes or so. And Ireland still not able to convert that into any points. So on the 44th minute, the Ireland goes for a line out. They set up a maul against a 13-player Wallabies team. Still not able to dominate the maul. So the ball comes out. They decide to go the blind side. And then Mac Hansen gets pushed out before he can release the ball back in. Regardless of this, there was a 2 minutes later, there was not a scrum inside the Wallabies half. And again, this was a similar position to this line out with a short blind side. The scrum, again, this was uncontested scrum. But the ball comes out. Ireland looks like they just wanted to shove everything down the blind side again. So they win the blind side again. Gibson Park's short ball to Mac Hansen. Mac Hansen runs down the sideline. He offloads. Just before he's about to get pushed out, he throws the ball back in. Gibson Park gets the ball, grounds the ball. Looked like a try. TMO review. Hansen had his foot touching on the line. Like, again, there was a lot of options in the open side. Ireland opted to go for the blind side again, almost like they had running out of ideas, to me, it looked like. 48th minute, there was a head contact between Valentini and it might have been Kalen Doris. And no yellow card, nothing. Valentini was subbed off anyway. And the referee really wasn't not interested to even look at this. But regardless, Ireland has an opportunity here to potentially kick for 3. They opted to not do so. They go for a 5-meter line out. Wallabies defends the maul and was able to counteract and turn over the ball. So it was a really, really good defense by the Wallabies there. After this, both teams realized that it's a bit of the defensive line was not able to break through. So there was a lot of kicking going on for territory. 53 minutes into the game, Wallabies finally able to find themselves just outside the Irish 22 for a scrum. The ball comes out. Tupou dominates the scrum, gets a penalty. The ball comes out, next phase, quick ball to Tupou, and he pulls his leg. So Wallabies, regardless, goes back for the scrum penalty, kicks for 3. So 3 points apiece, 53 minutes into the game, or 55 minutes into the game, rather. On the 64th minute, Jay Gordon takes out an Irish player in the air, gets penalised. A minute later, Ireland gets another line out. James Ryan loops around after the line out comes down. He just absolutely mauls down Bernard Foley on his run. He just loops into the 10 runs straight into the 10 channel and just mauls Foley down. This looked like Foley will probably be seen start afterwards. The Wallabies gets penalised offside. Ireland just piled in pressure. Just pick and go. And then eventually they were really close. And Bundy Yaki was like standing 2 minutes short from the sideline. Short flat ball to him. He crashes over. Too big, too strong. Wrestles the ball down. Ireland up 10 points to 3. Suddenly, the Wallabies seems to woken up after this try. A few minutes later, on the 69th minute, there was a penalty at the breakdown. So Wallabies get the ball. They were just able to just build faces following this penalty. Big Will Skelton literally ran through 5 players and was fine. Like, he was just made this huge run and really put Australia into the front foot. And then Australia gets the ball out. Literally, if someone runs over 5 players, there's space everywhere. Australia gets the ball out wide, gets the ball out, throws the ball out wide. I think there was like 3-on-1, but Jordan Patea gets the ball. He just cuts right through the defense, slides in for a try. Suddenly the scoreboard is level, 10 points apiece with about 10 minutes left to go. 74 minutes on the clock. There was a scrum, and it looked like it was very like tender, but it looked like the referee says Australian claps the scrum. I thought that was a 50-50 call, but anyway, the Australia gets penalised for claps the scrum. Ireland takes for opts for 3-point kick. This was a difficult one because this was right on the sideline, 40-something meters out, and this was what's his name, Ross Byrne. He basically got added into the team 20 minutes before the kickoff as Johnny Sexton got put out. So he has like literally not prepared at all for this. And then he's about to take the kick, right? Just before he's about to take the kick, just to psych him out a little bit more, referee Ben O'Keefe says, you got 20 seconds to take the kick. So he put him on a 20-second clock because he was taking a bit of time to put the tee up. And then, with all that pressure in the world, with being caught in later to the squad, with this being a difficult kick all the way from almost to the sideline, he punches it straight to the middle. Yeah, that was impressive. That was really good. 13 points to 10. With the last 5 minutes or so, there was so just before the full time, Australia had a penalty right in kickable range, 20 minutes out, a bit of an angle. Should have taken the 3 points. Could have taken the 3 points, but Australia decides to go for the win, which I thought was, really, really showed a lot of guts, was quite good. They go for the line out, set up the maul, and then the maul wasn't moving, so the back starts to join in, and the number 9, Jay Gordon, obviously new to, not really someone that does more a lot. So with the maul, right, you have to enter from behind the ball. So the ball carrier was the ball at the back. So the ball's at say the ball's at the back of the maul here. You have to enter from behind it. Jay Gordon was a halfback, so he was standing kind of to the side, here. So he's seeing the ball. He was seeing the maul not moving. He just joined the maul from the side, and he got penalized. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen the attacking side gets penalized for entering the maul from the side. But that's what happened. Jay Gordon gets penalized for entering his own maul from the side. Lost opportunity for Australia to score. And so on the 80th minute, Ireland obviously had a penalty. They kicked the ball out. All they had to do is secure the ball and then kick it out. Wallabies steals the line out. So suddenly Wallabies had one more shot of winning the game. And a few phases later, it was looking quite good. I think it was Nick White. Knock on. And yeah, that's the end of that. I do like how the Wallabies try to win the game at the end. I do feel like Wallabies let Ireland off the hook a little bit. Probably the team look a bit tired. They look a bit I don't know what's going on with the team. Everybody looked just tired this game, and nobody was performing despite the Irish team being quite poor themselves. I don't know what's going on here in Dublin. But I feel like the Wallabies should have won this one, and they let the Irish team off the hook a little bit there. There you go. Anyway, if you're an Irish fan, you must be happy. You really got let off the hook there, especially without Johnny Sexton. Ireland really struggled without Sexton, to be really frank, because the game plan's all built around the 10. And lucky you. Thanks for watching this video, guys. I do appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys next week for the news and the previews on Friday. 2 more tests. And and that's the end of the year. Thanks for watching, guys. See you guys later.